The coffee was bitter, the way Jax liked it. He sat in the corner booth of the roadside diner, watching the morning rush out of habit. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m., they came in like clockwork. The man, Julian, was sharp, dressed in clothes that cost more than Jax's bike parts, his watch catching the fluorescent light. He moved with smooth confidence, a practiced smile that stayed shallow. The woman beside him was a ghost. Today she wore a gray sweater that seemed to leach color from her face. He called her Lena. Jax's gaze lingered. Not his business, but something snagged him, a flicker in her stillness. Julian murmured low, one hand gesturing, the other resting possessively on her forearm. Then Jax saw it, the tremor. Her fingers shook as she reached for her water glass. She froze, eyes darting to Julian. He hadn't noticed. She pulled her hand back, hiding it in her lap with deliberate care, like disarming a bomb. A muscle ticked in Jax's jaw. He'd seen fear before, raw in fights, quiet in animals, but this was fear that had learned to live caged. "You're not eating, Lena," Julian said. "Not a question." "I'm not hungry," she whispered. His smile tightened. "You need to eat." He held out toast. She leaned forward stiffly, took a mechanical bite, eyes on the table. Jax looked away, knuckles white on his mug. The signs piled up. She spoke only when spoken to, flinched at sudden noises, never looked up. Julian ordered, paid, steered her by the elbow like a doll. To everyone else, a handsome couple. To Jax, a warning. They left, Julian's hand firm on her back. The door bell chimed too cheerfully. Jax stayed, coffee turning cold. Something was deeply wrong. For 2 more weeks the pattern held. Jax rerouted rides to be there, telling himself it was the coffee. He catalogued details. Her clothes clean but oversized, worn, a faint yellow bruise under her sleeve one morning. She jerked the cuff down when she caught him looking. Julian followed her gaze, met Jax's eyes across the room, flat, possessive challenge. Jax held the stare until Julian looked away, thumb pressing hard on her hand. She winced. This wasn't love, it was a cage. The turning point came at a grimy gas station 100 miles away. Jax was filling his tank when a missing poster caught his eye. The face smiled. Bright eyes, dark curls. The shape of the jaw, the lips, the mole above her right eyebrow. It was her, Laura Thorne, missing 2 years, last seen leaving her university library. Severe strawberry allergy, carries an EpiPen, answers to Larabelle. He ripped the poster free, folded it into his jacket. The vibrant girl in the photo versus the hollow woman in the diner. It was like ash where a meadow once stood. He rode for hours, mind racing. Charging in was stupid. Julian was slick. He'd spin a story, paint Jax as a harassing biker. She might even defend him, so deep in his control she didn't know she was missing. He needed proof. The name Larabelle was the key. If he could say it to her alone, her reaction would tell him everything. Tuesday was 2 days away. He checked into a cheap motel, studied the poster, planned the diner layout. 2 entrances, restrooms down a narrow back hall. He needed a few seconds of separation. Tuesday morning, gray and overcast. Jax took his booth early. At 9:03 they entered. Julian confident as ever. Laura looked worse, dark circles, bone-deep weariness. The routine played out. Julian scrolled his phone. A large man at the counter began yelling about cold eggs. Jax stepped in, escalating the argument just enough. Voices rose, eyes turned, including Julian's. Laura, terrified by the shouting, slipped out of the booth and headed toward the restrooms. Jax peeled away, moved fast and quiet down the hall. He intercepted her just before the door. "Excuse me," he said low. She flinched, eyes wide. "I'm sorry to bother you. One question." He leaned in, voice a whisper. "Does the name Larabelle mean anything to you?" Blank confusion for a heartbeat. Then, a flicker. Brow furrowed, lips parted, eyes sharpened with a pinprick of light, a memory fighting to surface. "What did you say?" she whispered. A shadow fell. "Is there a problem here?" Julian's voice was ice. He stepped between them, radiating menace. "We're leaving." He grabbed her arm, fingers digging in, pulled her toward the door. Just before they exited, she looked back over her shoulder. The blankness was gone, replaced by confusion, dawning horror, and a desperate silent plea. Jax stayed 10 minutes, hands shaking. He'd shown his hand. Julian knew someone was onto him. He pulled out the poster, dialed the hotline, gave the car make, model, plate, diner location, her condition, the name reaction. "Just a concerned citizen," he said, and hung up. Then he dialed the private number. Marcus Thorne answered, gruff, impatient. "This is Jax. I think I found your daughter." Silence. Then, dangerous intensity. "Who is this?" Jax relayed everything. The diner, the routine, the fear, Larabelle. Another pause. "Where are you?" "Don't move. I'm sending a car." An hour later a black town car arrived. Jax rode in silence to a mansion of manicured lawns and old money. In the study smelling of leather and books, Marcus Thorne, powerful, gray at the temples, stood with his wife Eleanor clutching a framed photo of smiling Laura. "Tell me again," Thorne said. Jax recounted every detail. The tremor, the bruise, the flinch, the hallway confrontation, the light in her eyes at the name. Eleanor wept silently. Thorne's jaw worked. "You put her in danger," Thorne said. "You spooked him. He could be gone." "Maybe," Jax replied. "Or maybe I woke her up." Eleanor spoke. "He saw her." "I believe him." Thorne nodded. "Called his private security team. Ex-military, on retainer since the disappearance. They moved fast. A hit. Car registered to Julian Croft, finance background, history of charming then vanishing wealthy women, no prior kidnapping charges. Then, located, parked at a rented house on a wooded lane outside town. "I'm going," Thorne said. "I'm coming," Jax stated. Thorne looked, saw the resolve, nodded. "Stay in the car." They parked a quarter-mile away. Drone feed showed lights on. No sign of her. The team breached, front and back, shouting. Julian's voice raised in protest. Then a woman's scream, terror, but also defiance. Jax broke, ran to the house, burst inside. Julian pinned against a wall, screaming, "She's my wife. You have no right." Across the room, Laura cowered in a corner, panicked, flinching from the approaching security. "Laura." Thorne rushed forward. She recoiled. "Get away from me." Thorne froze, face crumpling. Jax stepped forward slowly. "Laura." Her head snapped toward him. "The diner stranger. It's okay. You're safe now. Remember what I asked in the diner." Julian shouted. "Lena, don't listen. They're trying to hurt us." "Her name is Laura," Jax said. "Larabelle." The flicker again. She pressed hands to temples, sobbed. I don't. A nickname from your father," Jax said, improvising. "When you'd ring the little bell on your bicycle." Her head shot up. Her gaze shifted past Jax to Thorne. Recognition broke through. "Daddy." A choked sound from Thorne. Sob and laugh. He closed the distance, wrapped her in his arms. She stiffened, then sagged, weeping deep, shuddering sobs. Julian Croft was arrested. He'd exploited a minor accident that left her with amnesia, rebuilt her identity as Lena, erasing her past. Laura's recovery was slow. Therapists, doctors, family love. In early days she was lost in fog, wary even of her parents. The one person she consistently asked for was Jax. He visited the mansion, stayed in the guest house, sat with her in the garden in silence for hours. A steady presence. The man who had seen her when she was invisible. The one who spoke her true name. Thorne offered the reward. Jax refused. "I didn't do it for money." Thorne found another way. He learned Jax dreamed of a custom bike shop. One day he handed over keys and a deed. "It's a partnership. You saved my family. Now you're part of it." Years later, Thorne and Ryder Customs thrived. Jax built bikes and gave second chances to vets, ex-cons. Laura finished her degree, went to law school, became an advocate for missing persons and psychological abuse victims, starting a foundation. She never fully recovered those 2 lost years, perhaps a mercy. But she built a life of purpose and strength. Every year on the rescue anniversary, the 4 of them, Laura, her parents, Jax, shared dinner. This year on an outdoor patio under stars, Laura vibrant, laughter easy. Marcus raised his glass, to things that are found. To family. To the ones who pay attention. They clinked glasses. Laura met Jax's eyes across the table, gave a small, private smile holding 2 years of darkness and a lifetime of gratitude. He smiled back, The quiet biker who once noticed a trembling hand and, in doing so, found a home. 2.9s fast.